So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the American E-Karting League Championship, more specifically, the rules and regulations for the next 8 weeks. So you guys have more context as to how I'm doing, and you can help keep track with my improvement. Intro. Yo, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Chris, but you can call me Phoenix, and I vlog my hobbies. If you've been following me lately, you know that I have been on a huge racing kick, more specifically go-karts. So about a few months ago, my friend Sekou came to the DC area. It's about November time. A, so that he can get his visa for the European run, and then B, to come visit me. And while he was here, it was his birthday. We decided to go go-karting, and where we went is the Audubon Indoor Speedway Speedway and Events in Sterling, Virginia. That was a mouthful. And for me, I don't know about him, but for me, after that day, after that, those 5 races, I was immediately hooked. And from that point on, I pretty much went back, I would say at least once a week. Again, if you've been following me, there's plenty, right here, if you've been following me, right here is a playlist of pretty much all the videos I have with me go-karting. The racing bug hit me pretty hard. I've been doing everything I can to learn about it. I spent days, watching YouTube videos on how to race. The point of the matter is that I enjoyed it so much that I decided to join a league. And I joined that league about 3 weeks ago. What we're gonna talk about this episode is we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the racing end with me actually driving the karts like we have before. We're going to talk specifically about how the league works and its rules. I'm going to list a whole thing of how the rules are and the cash prizes and all that jazz in the description below. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have it written out, everything that I'm saying today, all the rules, all this stuff. So if you have any questions, again, read the description below. And when you read the description below, go ahead and ask your comments or ask your questions in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm not 100% sure of all this stuff, and like I said, I'm not an expert or anything like that, but I can probably give you a few answers, and whatever answers I don't know, I will ask the other guys. These next 8 Sundays are going to be pretty much focused on racing. So if you are new to my channel and if you are still, following me after this video, hopefully you are, you'll know every Sunday is going to be a racing vlog. Throughout the week, I'm going to give you some bonus videos. Every Thursday, I'll give you a tennis video just from me practicing from the past. I haven't really been playing a lot lately just because it's cold and don't feel like paying for court time and stuff like that. I'll also have some, bonus racing vlogs during the week. I have a bunch of other things planned for the channel. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned for that during the week, but know every Sunday I will have a racing vlog for the next 8 to 9 weeks. So this Sunday, which you're watching this today, was actually happened last Tuesday. My racing times will always be on a Tuesday at 7 p.m. Just be on the lookout for that. Any support and any encouragement, please write it down below. I love reading your comments and responding to them. Okay, so the American E-Karting Championship, AEKC, is powered by Monster Energy, is a nationwide indoor karting series sanctioned by the World Karting Association. It runs 8 weeks, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., culminating with a championship held in Chicago, with the winner receiving $10,000. All right, now that's actually pretty cool. I've been in a lot of competitions where money was involved, but never in a racing competition. So the first place gets $10,000, the second place gets $2,500, and third place gets $1,000. And this is if you make it to the championship. They have local prizes for the end of the league, which is cool too, but it's not $10,000, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so the league design. The season will run for 8 weeks with 3 rounds of racing each week. Points will accumulate every week and will be entered into a spreadsheet that will be shared via Facebook and other social media. 1 week will drop from every racer's point total at the end of the season. So that means if you have a really bad racing day, whatever, you gotta do your best not to have as many, too many bad racing days, but one racing day, that'll be completely dropped from your total, and so you'll have whatever your best results are. Each league night will consist of a driver's meeting, 2 qualifying sessions, and a position-based race for points. So we'll have 3 races. The first race is a qualifying race. That race, obviously your best time puts you into 2 heats, whether you're gonna be in the fast heat or the slow heat. And then you'll be ranked, you'll be placed in a position in that second qualifying race based on how you did in the previous race. So if you finished in the fastest heat of 5 guys and you were 3rd out of the drivers, then you'll be placed 3rd position in the next qualifying race in the faster heat. And then you will race again to see who can get the fastest time, because it's about, the first 2 races are about time. That will determine your position for the position race, which is the 3rd race. That 3rd race is where it's about who finishes first as opposed to who has the fastest time. You will get bonus points, I think. We'll get back to that later, I think. Don't quote me on that. The league will accept new racers into the week through the 4th week. So that means if you like what you're seeing and you're in the area and you want to race, you're more than welcome to join our league. In fact, we want more. If you want to race, you've got 4 weeks to decide to get your registration in and come and race with us. All right. We're gonna go into the racing format now. All right, so the qualifying will begin immediately after the driver's meeting. Racers will be spaced evenly around the track and scored by best lap time. Racers will start with a standing start on defined, well, that's not true. Actually, that's not true. The first qualifying race is a rolling start. So we'll be rolling. The second race will have, I think, a pacer. And then the third race will be, as it says here, racers will start with a standing start on defined grid spots after completing 1 reconnaissance lap on speed 2. The race starts with the drop of the green flag. In the event of a false start, the driver who jumped will be placed at the back of the field. Depending on how many racers participate on a given night, the number of heats may vary. If there are 30 racers, we would field 3 heats, the A heat, B heat, and C, and then of 10 racers for all 3 rounds of racing. So that could be a lot of racing right there. The heats will be run slowest to fastest from CB to A. Cautions will be used to regroup the field after an incident. As soon as the incident occurs, the field is frozen. Any passing under yellow will result in being sent to the back of the field. All restarts will be single file rolling starts. All carts must be lined up bumper to bumper for the restart. If a cart pulls out of the line before the green flag is dropped, the driver will be sent to the rear of the pack. Okay, so here's the point system. This is where things could get confusing. It was a little bit for me. I haven't really looked over it fully. I'm going to now as I'm presenting it to you guys. But here's the point system. After the first race, you'll be placed in for the second qualifying round, right? So the second round, this is how it works. Sorry, if you finish first place in Heat A, you receive 15 points. From there, 1 point less each position. First place in each successive heat receives 3 points less. So if you're in the highest heat, you'll get these points. If you're in the second slowest heat or second fastest heat, then you'll get 3 points less if you're first place, and then so on and so forth if you're in the very last heat. So like for example, if I'm in the very first heat, I get 15 points. 3 points less with that would be 12. 3 points less than that would be what, 9? If I was in the slowest heat, at least that's how I'm in my head, right? Now the position race, the third one, first place of Heat A receives 50 points, 2 points less for each position. So if you finish in second place, you get 48. If you finish in third, you get 46. First place in each successive heat receives 6 points less. So again, if I'm first place in Heat A, I'll get the 50 points. But if I'm first place in Heat B, which is I guess the second slowest heat, again, I think that's how it works. So don't quote me if I have completely destroyed this and came nowhere near it. Then League Racers, if you guys are watching this, hopefully you are. If you're watching this, please correct me in the comments below. If not, we're gonna go with it. These next 2 sections are probably gonna be the most important in the sections, and then we're gonna get on with the episode. Here are the rules for the passing. It is the responsibility of the passing driver to make a safe pass and leave room for the pass driver to continue the race. If you've seen some of my previous videos, every time I try to pass, I bump people. It's called dive bombing, but I don't think I was trying to, well, I know I wasn't trying to do it on purpose. But especially when I was, when I was racing, if you watch the very first episode of KVS in season 2, when I was racing Seiku, you'll hear him screaming, "That's a violation! That's a violation! That's a violation!" And then a couple times with my brother. Yeah, a cart must have their front axle up to the rear axle of the cart in front to establish position. So if I'm trying to pass, okay? If I'm trying to pass, use this visual here. If I'm trying to pass, all right? So if I'm trying to pass, I'm the guy on the right, on the inside, this is the guy on the left. In order to establish position, I must, if this is right here, the wheel of the cart, and this is my front wheel of my cart, I need to be here in order to establish position. So that means the guy cannot squeeze me off while I'm trying to pass. So if I'm able to get my front wheel in here, then I've made then I've established myself as a person who's established position, and now I can, this guy is supposed to give me, way, but at least a cart's length away so that I can pass and drive through. Now, I'm allowed to drive defensively, but I'm not allowed to try to block the guy, which we'll get to in about a second here. Once position established, both carts must allow at least one cart width of track for the other until the pass attempt fails or is completed. So they gotta ease off while I try to pass. Now, if I don't successfully pass, then he can get back in the racing line. If contact is made during this time, it may not be considered penalty depending on the situation. So that's the other thing that I have to be careful with, that we all have to be careful with, is that while making these passes, if we make contact, a lot of this is subjected to the perception of our referees. So if they perceive that something was, wrongdoing, then there's a chance that I could or they could get penalized, even if the intent wasn't there, or even if it wasn't exactly what it looked like, because sometimes in these situations it could look like that. This decision will be made by the competition director. Okay, contact and penalties. So this is important too. Blocking is making any, so they define blocking. Blocking is making any erratic and excessive moves to keep a competition from passing. There's a vast difference between running a defensive line and blocking. Not leaving room for another driver and pinching them off into the wall in any corners or straights will result in a penalty. Moving towards the inside line to block your competitor's run, then swinging back out to the racing line entering a corner results in a penalty. A driver may make one move but cannot make a secondary reaction move to keep another driver behind them from passing. Now, I guess the only thing that I have a concern about is I don't know if I consider driving a defensive line and then coming up to the corner. So for example, if I'm driving to, let's just say this is the corner here. So if I'm in this corner and I'm driving, right? I'm in the inside and I need to come out so that I can make that turn correctly to keep myself in the racing line. I don't know if I consider that blocking, considering the fact that, yeah, I'm preventing this guy from taking the inside and trying to pass me here. If he's on the outside and he chooses to be on the outside because I'm, defending that line, then I think I should have the right to be able to pull out just a little bit, just so I can turn, that way I can keep momentum. These tracks are so small width-wise, and the turns are so sharp that sometimes driving in full speed in order to, obviously keep distance between you and the racer, and also keeping that inside line to prevent them from passing, there should be some level of lenience in terms of how you determine what a blocking is. Now, I can understand if, like, I pass the guy, I'm now protecting the inside, and he's trying to, and I try to do that, and I try to do that. This I can consider blocking. But if I, for sure, drove down, I successfully passed the guy, I drive defensively, and then pull out for a corner, even though he decided he wants to try to take me from the outside. Only when I'm reaching to this corner that should I be allowed to pull out so I can make the turn. I don't feel like I should be penalized for that, if that makes sense. I don't know, you feel free to debate me in the comment section, but if you understand what I'm saying, again, if you guys are the league racers or the director, if you guys are watching that, I feel that's probably something that needs to be, I guess, addressed yeah. Any contact in the braking zone of a corner will not be allowed. So obviously if you're in a braking zone, behind contact, you cannot hit this person that's dive bombing. And then, you know, race staff has final say. There are more rules and more things, like I said, but I'm not going to get into all the specifics when it comes to that stuff. You just needed to know those few things so that whenever you guys are watching the racing leagues and you want to know how I'm doing and you want to be watching the actual race and see what's going on, that's pretty much all of the rules that you need to do. What I like you to do is go down to the comments, or not the comment section, the description section. Once you get there, make sure you take a look at all the rules, and if you have any questions, go ahead and write them in the comment section. I'll try to do my best to answer them, and any questions that I can't answer, I will speak to the league coordinator, and I'll actually have them, you know, answer them themselves. Hopefully they're subscribed or at least watching the videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Been a little too nice for y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. A6 all the hate. I won't get involved today. Got lost in the ball and age. I'm flipping the bars. I'm flipping the.